Hello there, people of the world, and welcome to today's episode of Coffee Chats with Jax. You guys know what it's like to do something that you know you're created to do. Like whether it's dancing, whether it's singing, whether it is writing, even reading, math. Like, you know that when you're doing something, your heart kind of comes alive for a second, and it's kind of unexplainable, but it's like that's where you feel the most just at peace with yourself. I think I've been experiencing that a lot with writing, and it's been really fun, and I've been working on this book that I have mentioned a few different times. I'm really excited to see what's gonna come from it. But the other day didn't really tell anyone this, but I started to feel a little bit overwhelmed with the fact that I need to write this book, because I know that this book has a play in my purpose and what I'm supposed to do. I got kind of stressed out for a second. I didn't tell anyone this, but my friend sent me this message. My friend's amazing. She sent me this message, this long message, and just telling me that, like, hey, yes, I think this book is really great, and yes, I think it's gonna be a huge thing in your life, but you are so loved because you're you, not because you're writing this book. Whether this book is good or bad, whether you write it or you don't write it, you are still so loved. It was a long message, and that didn't really do it justice, and it was amazing, but I kind of teared up alone in a coffee shop, as I usually do, because it just hit on so many spots in my heart that I didn't really know were like an issue. And Donald Miller actually talks about the same thing in his book Scary Close, about how after he wrote Blue Like Jazz, it was like this best-selling book, like it did really, really well. And after he wrote that, he felt like people only loved him because he wrote this book. People only loved him because of this purpose that he has, this talent that he has. So he would hide away and not come out of like this cabin for like a month trying to write the next best-selling book, and he felt like that became his identity. And he learned throughout writing this book Scary Close through his wife that that's not his identity. That's not what makes him loved. It's just not, like, who he is makes him loved. And I'm just really thankful for that friend I have. No matter what it is that you do, like, do it with your heart, put everything you have into it, but do not let yourself be defined by it. If you're a singer, you're not loved because you're a singer. You're loved because you're you. And if there's people around you that you think only love you because you're a singer, that's not good. People need to love you for the heart of who you are. You guys were all created so differently, and we all communicate so differently. And sometimes you find someone that you communicate like totally in tune with, and it just works, and you have the same love languages, and you feel loved the same way from each other. Like, I have this other friend who I was just talking to the other day, and she's like, we're just like building each other up and building each other up. She's like, you're a words person, huh? And I was like, yeah, you're a words person, aren't you? And she's like, yep, that's why this is so easy. Not everyone's gonna be like that. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't be friends with people who aren't like that. That's not true at all, because it's actually our differences that bring us together. When you're weak, I'm strong type of thing. Like, maybe you're good at this stuff and I'm good at this stuff, and when we come together, like, we're just built up. But I've been going a while thinking that if I'm not up to par with how these people want me to communicate, then I communicate wrong, and I'm bad, and I'm doing it wrong. And I'm learning lately that that's not true. It's been quite the process of learning that, because, I don't know, it's kind of like that Albert Einstein quote that's like, when you judge a fish by his ability to climb a tree, that fish is gonna grow up thinking he's an idiot. That's a quote that's very relevant in my life, because when we see someone who's different than us and we think that we have to be like them, but we're not like them, then we're gonna go our lives being really insecure, and that's how I was for a little while. I used to compare myself to these different people, and I needed their approval, I needed their acceptance, and if someone was mad at me, I couldn't handle it because I needed them to think that I was awesome. I'm kind of getting to this point in my life where I'm learning this thing about a new piece, that I'm okay how I am. I'm not meant to be something that I'm not, and I've surrounded myself with some friends that are very much in like the gardener mindset versus the critic mindset, and I know that I have talked about that in the past. Like, the gardener mindset is when people see you for who you are, and they encourage that, and they build that up, and they don't want to change you into something else. And then there's the critic mindset that sees you and is like, you need to be this. Maybe you do this, but you should do this instead. I have a lot of people in my life that are the gardener mindset, and I think that the longer I've been friends with them and the more we build each other up, and they tell me who I am, and they encourage the beautiful things that God has done in my life and put in my life, I become a little bit more confident in myself. It's kind of like a family, you know? Like, A kid grows up in a family and they tell this kid that, hey, you're awesome. You are awesome, you're good at this, and you're good at this, and I love you. If this kid grows up hearing that his whole life, then he's gonna have that ingrained in his head that, hey, he's awesome, and it doesn't really matter what other people think because he knows that he's awesome. In a spiritual sense, that's who Jesus is supposed to be in our life. Because he's the one that's constant. Because people are human and we're gonna make mistakes and we're gonna hurt each other's feelings and there's gonna be conflict and sometimes it's gonna suck. Sometimes it's really gonna suck because people are people and people are also never gonna get grace 100% right. We're gonna try to have grace for each other. Grace is the point and we're gonna try, but we're gonna fail and that's okay. It's the times when there is failure that we need to have peace with ourselves because of who Jesus is. Because at the end of the day, the biggest gardener that we need in our life is Jesus. That's the only way we're gonna have constant peace in our heart, because if we rely on everyone too much for that, like it's gonna be great a lot, but sometimes it's not, because we're human. We're gonna bump heads. And in those moments when it's not okay, your world does not have to be crushed, you know? Like, you're still loved. You're still loved. Even when you mess up so bad, you are still loved. You're good at relationships because God's good at relationships and you're created in His image, so you're good at relationships. Sometimes you might not act like you're good at relationships. Sometimes your actions don't show that, but you are. So when you start believing that, you start acting that out. It's shame that tells you that you're not, and that's when you start acting like that. But it's truth in Jesus that tells you that you are. You're good at relationships, you make great decisions, and you gotta know that. Yeah, I've been feeling this peace lately that no, things aren't all good, but they will be. And even if they're not, I'm still okay because I'm still loved and I'm still me. And yeah, this video went in 7,000 directions, but that's okay. I hope there was something in here that maybe spoke to you guys. I love you. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for believing what I have to say. If you want to read the first 3 pages of my book, please go check out my Patreon page. You guys, I'm super, super pumped about writing this thing, and I would love your opinions. So there's going to be a box on the side of the screen or links in the description box below will take you to my Patreon page where you can choose to support me, get more involved in what I'm doing, and preview my book before anybody else. So yeah, I love you. I hope you have a good rest of your week.